Force, work, and energy. Force causes motion. You cannot see a force, but most often you can see what it does. You have learned that a force can start, stop, or slow down an object in motion, speed up or change the direction of a moving object, change the shape of an object. Types of forces. Muscular force. When we pull or push anything, we use our muscles. Gravitational force. It is also called the force of gravity. It is the attractive force of the earth and is always directed toward the center of the earth. Take the example of an apple falling down from a tree. Why does the apple not go up? This is because the force of gravity pulls all objects towards the center of the earth. Frictional force. Whenever an object moves or rubs against another object, a frictional force is created. These forces act in opposite direction to the movement of the body. When we walk, we don't slip easily because of the friction between our shoes and the floor. Frictional forces are much smaller on smooth surfaces than on rough surfaces, which is why we slide on ice. Elastic force. Something is considered to be elastic if it returns to its original shape after it is squeezed or stretched. Stretch a rubber band and leave it. What happens? It comes back to its original position. Buoyant force. Buoyancy is the upward force of an object produced by the surrounding liquid or gas in which it is fully or partially immersed. Magnetic force. Magnets attract things made of iron or steel. Like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. Work. In science, work means using force to move an object. Work is done when a force moves something. When a coolie carries a load, he does work. When a man pulls a handcart, he does work because he is moving it from one place to another place. Now, how much work is done by you? It depends on the two things: the force applied by you and the distance, means how much distance the object has been moved. There are two things that cause difficulty in work. These are friction. Work is done against the force of friction when the body moves on a surface through some distance. Thus, friction makes it difficult for the objects to be moved on a surface. Gravity. Gravity is an invisible force. This force pulls everything down towards the earth. That is why when you throw something upwards, it falls downwards. When we lift a body through some distance in a vertically upward direction, then work is done against the force of gravity. Work is done in different ways. When you shut a door or open a window, you use muscular force to do work. When you use a pair of scissors to cut something, you are using mechanical force to do work. Simple machines. A simple machine is any device tool that helps you perform work easily. Without these machines, most tasks will be impossible to perform. However, to make any of these machines work, we need to apply a force on it. Simple machines can be grouped under 6 types: lever, wheel and axle, pulley, inclined plane, wedge, screw. Levers. Have you played on a seesaw? This is an example of lever. A lever is a rigid bar that moves around a fixed point or support called the fulcrum. An object that a lever moves, lifts, is called the load. The force applied is called effort. The closer the object is to the fulcrum, the easier it is to move. Lever can be classified into three types: Class 1, Class 2, Class 3. The class of a lever is determined by the location of the effort, force, and the load relative to the fulcrum, resistance. In a first class lever, the fulcrum F is located between the effort E and load L. In a second class lever, the load L is located between the fulcrum and the effort force. In a third class lever, the effort is between the fulcrum and load. Inclined plane. Have you ever walked up a ramp? An inclined plane is a flat surface that is higher on one end. It is an even sloping surface. It is especially used to raise or lower a load by rolling or sliding. You would need less energy and force to move objects on an inclined plane. Screw. The screw is a modified version of the inclined plane. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a post. Wedge. Two inclined planes joined back to back make a wedge. Wedges are used to split things. Wheel and axle. The wheel and axle consist of a large wheel rigidly attached to shaft, called an axle. When either the wheel or axle turns, the other part also turns. For example, fan blades are attached to the wheel. Pulleys. They consist of a grooved wheel that turns freely in a frame. A pulley needs a rope, chain, or belt around the groove to make it do work. Forms of energy. Energy can be obtained from various sources: water, wind, sun, and fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas. The different forms of energy include light, heat, chemical, electrical, sound, and motion. These can be broadly classified into potential and kinetic. Potential energy. It is the energy stored in a body, that is, the energy of position. Kinetic energy. It is the energy of a body due to its motion. Potential energy. Light energy. The energy we get from light. Examples of light energy are the sun, bulbs, tube lights, candle, etc. Heat energy. The energy we get from heat. It is produced by burning of fuels such as coal, petroleum, LPG, cooking gas, and kerosene. Chemical energy. Fuel and food are forms of stored chemical energy. It is the energy stored in substances such as matchstick, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Chemical energy is converted into heat energy. Mechanical energy. When work is done to an object, it acquires energy. The energy it acquires is known as mechanical energy. When you kick a ball, you give mechanical energy to the ball to make it move. Electrical energy. It is the energy transported through power lines and converted to other forms of energy. We get it from electric current through wires. All home appliances, mixie, washing machine, TV, fans, etc. run on electricity. Electromagnetic energy. The energy from X-rays, microwave, radio waves, etc. Kinetic energy. Motion energy. The energy produced by the movement of objects. Wind and water are examples. Moving wind and water produce energy. Sound energy. Sound is the movement of energy through substances. Energy conversion. A change in the form of energy is called energy conversion. An example of energy conversion: in an electric bulb, electricity makes a wire hot, and that heat is what produces light. You use electric energy if you use electric lights, TV or radio.